So, welcome to Gentle Yoga. It's going to be very gentle yoga today because I fell on the top of a double-decker bus in Edinburgh a week ago and bruised my side. So, I'll be taking it very slow and easy today. I hope that, and if you want to intensify your practice, just go further, go longer. Um, So we'll begin in seated position today. Our peak pose will be a half moon. Um, see if I can do it, but I will guide you through it even if I can't. So just find your sits bones in easy pose, cross-legged Sukhasana, and just allow your arms to rest gently over your knees. And then just move the spine in very small circles, at the same time extending up through the crown of the head, and really find the length of your entire spine, including the cervical spine of your neck. Really be as tall as you can be. And begin to bring your focus into your heart and your stomach, and allow the breath to come and go and just observe the breath. Perhaps set an intention for your practice today. This can be for yourself or for someone else or an animal, a tree, all trees. Find your intention. And release the arms down and draw them up overhead. Reach high, palms touch, and side bend to the left. Reaching through the right side of the body, maybe even wriggling your fingers. Can look up at the inner right arm and then twist to the right. Bring the left hand to the right knee and the right hand behind you. Lower the left shoulder again, roll it a little bit back and twist. Not your deepest twist yet, we're just warming up. Take the gaze over to the right. And then cross the right arm over the left knee and round the spine back. Lift the knees, just hang here for a breath. And then open the arms and arch the back. Gaze up, tilt forward, and come back to center. And just switch out the cross of your legs. We'll take that gentle opening on the other side, arms overhead, palms touch, side bend to the right. Reach through the left arm, gaze up, wiggle your fingers, stretching the left side of the body. And then twist to the left, right hand to left knee, left hand behind. Lower the right shoulder again and twist the gaze as well. You can be on your fingertips of the left hand if there's any discomfort. Breathe deeply. And bring the left arm around to the right knee and round the spine back. Lower the chin to the chest. Can lift the knees. And then open the arms and arch the back. Lift the gaze way up. And now just take both hands behind you and bring the feet out in front on the floor with the knees up, and then just windshield wiper, right, left, right. You don't have to take this all the way to the floor. Go as far or as near as you want. And then as you take it to the right, bring the left arm around, and we'll take a twisted cobra here. So facing the back of your mat, you can press the left knee into the right arch of the right foot and lengthen the spine again. And then bring the right arm across on the floor, the forearm, under your chest, and then reach the left arm out for a more intense twist. And breathe here. And bring the arms back in one more time to the twisted cobra. And come back around all the way to the other side. Right knee into the left foot, the arch of the left foot, and bring the right arm around. And twisted cobra on the right, on the left this time. Lengthening the spine, breathing deeply all the way down into the root of your torso. And then take the left arm under your chest on the floor, the forearm, and reach the right arm out. You can tiptoe the fingers. Just gaze down gently, relaxed neck. And walk the hands back in. Come back to twisted cobra. And bring it back around to the front. And now you can either take your legs to the side or cross-legged and come to all fours. And remove the blanket if you've been using a blanket to sit on. Find the knees directly under the hips and the hands directly under the shoulders. And inhale, cow. Exhale, cat. Round the spine. Draw the chin in. Inhale, cow. Exhale, cat. One more round. Inhale, cow. And exhale, cat. And then we'll just take the left leg back with the foot on the floor, the toes on the floor, and press back gently with the arms to stretch the back of the left leg. Breathe the length of the left leg. And then lift the leg in the air, and the right arm comes up, and reach from fingertips to toe tips. Really stretching and strengthening the arm and the legs. And then bend the left knee and reach back with the right hand to catch the left foot and press the foot into the hand. And press up out of the left shoulder as well. Try to keep the right shoulder squaring down even as you're reaching back and pressing the foot into the hand, arching the back. Keep breathing and extend the arm and the leg again. Hand down, knee down. And just widen the knees on the mat for a moment and sit back into child's pose. And if your forehead doesn't easily come to the floor, you can always use a block to put your forehead on and just relax for a breath or two. And before we lose our enthusiasm, we'll come back to all fours and take the right foot back and pressing with the arms, stretch the back of the right leg. Feeling that stretch all the way from the heel up into the gluteal muscles. Breathing deeply. Pressing the palms into the floor, the whole palms. I find it helpful to even lift the fingers up off the floor just for a moment so that the palms are really grounded. And then lift the right leg up in the air, point the toes and reach the left arm out, reaching from fingertips to toe tips. Breathing deeply, press up out of the right shoulder again. Strengthen the left leg. And then reach back, bend the right leg, and reach back for the right foot with the left hand. And press the foot into the hand and lift the gaze a little bit. Breathing deeply. Maybe lift the leg a little higher. And reaching the leg and the arm back out. Lower the hand, lower the knee. And just take one cat-cow here. Inhale, cow, and exhale, cat. And then we'll thread the needle. So bring the right arm up in the air and bring it under the left armpit until your right shoulder comes to the floor and your left arm is at a right angle and to support you in this pose. And it's the side of the head above the ear that's on the floor. And breathe here. Try to keep the hips squared. And breathing into the torso. And then pressing up with the left hand. Reach through the right arm again. Open it up. And bring the hand back to the floor. And we'll just take that on the other side. Left arm up in the air. And reach through under the right armpit. And maybe even walk the right arm out a little bit. Keep square and rest your left shoulder on the floor and the left side of your head above the ear. So the ear's not flat on the floor. You don't torque the neck this way. Just pressing into this twist a little bit with the right arm. Breathing deeply. And pressing up with the right arm. Open it up. Reach through the left arm and bring it back to the floor. And then we'll just come down chest and chin, the knees are already on the floor, and scoop through to Sphinx pose. So the forearms are on the floor with the elbows directly under the shoulders. And then tuck the toes under and stretch the legs back even further. And you can feel more opening in the hips and the groin and the back. And then lift up out of the shoulders, maybe even just some side to side gentle movements, small movements, not large. And lift the chin up, pressing out of the shoulders. Breathing, the most important part of the practice. And then we'll roll down onto the floor and place your right cheek on the floor and reach the right arm out to the side. And then with your left arm, press over onto your right side. You can bend the knees or have the right knee bent on the floor, and you can have just the knees stacked, or you can even put your left foot on the floor behind the right leg. And this is a shoulder opener. And again, just go as little or as much as it feels good. Don't let it hurt. Don't want to hurt our shoulders. With just a gentle opening. And then roll back onto your stomach. And we'll just take it directly to the other side. Stretch the left arm out. Press up with the right. And you can either stack the knees or put the right foot on the floor, depending on how open you're feeling today. So your gaze is over toward the right. And then rolling back onto our stomachs, we'll take a locust pose. This is very strengthening for the lower back. It really helps prevent lower back pain. So zip the legs together with the toes pointed, and then lift the legs up off the floor. Lift the chest up, and take the arms out to the side or even slightly to the back. And then gaze in front of you on the floor. And feel the pelvis pressing into the floor. Just breathe here. Couple more breaths. Strengthening the legs, lifting them a little higher. Lifting the shoulders up a little more, maybe reaching back farther. And then place the hands under the forehead, stack the hands, and completely relax. And just shift the hips from side to side to release the lower back. And now we'll roll over onto our backs and we'll use the strap. If you have a strap or a belt, this is very helpful. So we'll start in just partial recline with the knees in the air and our hands on the lower belly. Let's just start here with a breathing exercise. So a 4-7-8 breath. You inhale on the count of 4, hold for the count of 7, and then very slowly exhale for the count of 8. So the exhale is twice as long as the inhale. So I'll just guide you through the first one. Inhale, 2, 3, 4. hold, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. On your own, inhale, hold, exhale, one more round. And then take the strap around the ball mound of the right foot. And you can either, if you don't have a strap, you can interlace the fingers behind the thigh or the calf, but not right behind the knee. Or if you have the strap, you can begin to pull the leg closer to the chest. Maybe stretch the left leg long on the floor and strengthen it. And feel the stretch in the back of the right leg. Both feet are flexed. Breathing deeply. And then taking both sides of the strap in the right hand or catching the outside of the right thigh. Open the right leg to the right. And try to keep the left hip on the floor. Breathing here. The left arm is extended out. The counterbalance. And then drawing the left leg up to center. Draw it in again toward the chest. And then just cross it over only about 6 to 8 inches across the midline so that the right hip stays on the floor and you're still pulling the right leg in toward the chest. And back up to center. Bend the left, cross the right ankle over the left knee and draw the there's a couple of places you can stop here. So you can just keep the left foot on the floor and open the right knee with your right hand. Again, both feet are flexed. Or you can interlace the fingers behind the left thigh and use the right elbow to pry open the left leg gently, not very much. Or you can even interlace the fingers around the left shin and draw the legs closer in. So just find whatever cradle suits your body today. And breathing into, for me, it's the right hip that really feels this opening, but it's also very opening for the sacrum. And sometimes I get sacrum pain if I don't do this regularly. And release the left foot to the floor, right foot to the floor. Take the strap again around the ball mound of the left foot and take the left foot up in the air. And again, can take the right leg long on the floor, or the knee can be slightly bent or very bent. And draw the left leg straight in towards the chest. Breathe deeply, feeling the stretch in the back of the leg. A lot of back pain comes from stiffness in the backs of the legs, surprisingly. So whenever I have any back pain, stretching the back of the legs is really helpful. So drawing the leg in and now taking both straps in the left hand, open the left leg to the left, keeping the right hip on the floor. You can even gently press it down with the right hand. Keep drawing the leg toward the body, breathing deeply, feeling that opening in the, especially in the groin area of the left leg. And then drawing the left leg up the left and the right hand. And feel the stretch in the outer left hip. And again, coming back up to center, bringing the right foot to the floor and crossing the left ankle over the right knee. And just take whatever cradle you found helpful on the first side. So with the foot on the floor, I forgot there's one other thing you can do is with the block, you can place the block under your right foot. And this is a transition to the full cradle. Um, these modifications can be really helpful through time. Give it time, and then draw the legs into the chest and even press open the left leg with either the left hand or the left elbow, depending on where your hands are. Breathing deeply. And then bring the feet back to the floor. And we'll take happy baby here. So bring the knees outside the shoulders and catch hold of your shins or ankles or even the outside of the feet, but keep the spine completely on the floor and then draw the knees outside of the shoulders. Down, breathe. And then we'll just cross the legs and roll on the spine so you can catch behind the thighs and just begin your rolling on the spine until you come all the way up. And we'll turn around back to all fours toward the front of the mat and come into down dog. And this is, we're already halfway through our practice, and this is our first down dog. So you can pedal your feet out and really stretch through the arms, and then come to stillness. Maybe come up high on the toes, lifting the hips way up in the air, and then relax the feet down toward the floor. The knees can be slightly bent, and even a little bit of bend in the elbows can be helpful. Then press the shoulders through the arms, the chest through the arms, and then roll out into plank pose. And breathe. Take 5 long, deep breaths here. The hips can be as high in the air as you need to, but the legs and the torso, the arms are all very strong here. And then lower the right knee to the floor behind the right hand. And we'll take side plank here. And you can even tuck the right toes and take them a little behind you and turn towards the left, open it up, and turn the whole torso and reach the left arm up in the air. So this is a modified side plank. If you know a deeper version, you can stretch out your right leg as well as your left. The way my side hurts today, this is enough for me. And then windmill the left arm back down. Stretch the right leg long back into a plank pose. And then take plank on the left side. Whatever plank suits you. I just have both my legs straight but staggered. And then come back with the hands on the floor and lift the hips to down dog. Down dog becomes a resting pose. The more you do it, the easier it is. And then we'll step the left foot slightly closer to the right. Lift the left right leg way up high in the air. And then draw the knee into the chest and step it through. Turn the left foot out with the feet on separate tracks. We're getting ready for warrior one. So wing the arms back and pressing up with the right leg. Lift the arms up in the air. If you want to go deeper, you might want to move your right foot forward or your left foot back. But square the hips. Even you can even take the hips with the hands and square them toward the front. And strengthen the left leg all the way up through the gluteus maximus. And lift the arms up in the air again. Lift the gaze, strong arms, and soft hands. Make a soft fist like you're about to cast seeds and plant something. Breathing deeply. This is a back bend, so breathing deeply is harder, takes a little more effort. And then straighten the right leg. If you have blocks, reach for them and bring them next to around the right foot. And straighten the right leg and take the left leg back again. Same position for the left leg. So the feet are on separate tracks. This is pyramid. If you don't have blocks, you can use the fingertips. Or if you don't come down that far without rounding the spine, you can even put your hands on your right shin. So find a pyramid pose that suits you. Reaching through the crown of the head, squaring the hips. And then we'll bring the left heel in alignment with the right heel and windmill the arms up into warrior two and breathe. Strengthen the legs. Maybe sink down a little bit further. Turn the torso as much as you can toward the side wall. And then try to bring the torso back so that, I'm exaggerating here, leaning forward, but what we want is more of a vertical and the arms straight and back and front. And then we'll straighten the right leg and bring the left hand to the left hip and reach out as far as you can and take triangle pose. So I like to place my right hand inside the right leg with the palm facing forward, and not putting any weight into the right hand. Some people actually put it on a block or their shin, but I find it helpful to not have any weight in the right hand. And again, the idea is to keep the torso long, straight. So both sides of the torso are long. And if your triangle is like, it can be just like this, anywhere along the way without rounding down. And then bring your left hand down to the block and take the block outside the right foot, and we'll lift the left leg up in the air and turn again towards the side wall and lift the left arm up in the air. Left leg, left arm up. Strong right arm, strong right leg. Half moon. Strengthen the left leg. And then turn and place the left hand down and bring the left foot hip width apart from the right foot. And hands on the shin, reach through the crown of the head, half lift. And then we'll take a forward bend here. Bend the knees deeply and drape the torso onto the thighs. Release the neck. You can even turn the head, say no, nod yes, and then begin to straighten the knees a little bit more without rounding the spine. So keep the knees deeply bent if need be, and just take hold of the back of the thighs, calves, ankles, or heels. And then we'll step back with the right foot and have the feet on separate tracks. So we'll begin that same sequence again. Turn the right foot slightly out, the left knee is bent, and we're set up for warrior one. Wing the arms back and pressing into the left leg. Square the hips forward, maybe even using your hands, and lift the arms up in the air. Strong arms, soft hands, seed mudra. High V with the arms. Lift the gaze up. Strengthen the right leg. Strengthen the left leg. Bend the left knee a little bit more, maybe. And breathe. And then we'll straighten the legs. Have your blocks handy. And place the blocks around the left foot and straighten the legs for pyramid pose. Reach through the crown of the head with the long spine. Draw the left hip back so that the hips are squared toward the floor. And then we'll align the right heel with the left heel and windmill the right arm up and over for warrior two. And I have to lengthen my stance a little bit for my warrior. Reaching front and back, gaze over the left arm. Strengthen the legs, really pressing the feet into the floor. Rooting down. Breathing deeply. And straightening the left leg. Take our triangle pose on the other side. Reaching forward and then taking, whichever triangle. Now this is this is where my side is really sore, so I have to be very careful. I'm supporting myself actually. But do your triangle. Strengthen the legs. Lengthen both sides of the torso. And maybe even gaze up at the right hand. And then windmill the right arm down and around. And we'll come into our half moon on the other side. So take the block forward about 8 inches in front of the left foot. Lift the right leg up in the air. Take the right hand to the right hip. And once you feel stable, you can bring the right arm up in the air and gaze at an unmoving point, probably not at the computer screen. Breathing deeply. And windmill the arm back down. Bring the right foot to meet the left. And maybe bring the feet a little closer to each other. And bend the knees, and then we'll just reverse swan dive all the way up. Palms touch overhead, and then swan dive back down. With a long spine, bend the knees, and come into another forward fold. Release the neck. Press the torso into the legs. And if you can straighten the legs a little bit at a time. Breathing, feeling the stretch in the back of the legs again. And then we'll come up to half lift and step the feet out and point the toes out all the way to the edge of the mat. And we'll come down into a squat pose. So if you have a block, it can be very handy to have the block to sit on. And squat down with the elbows inside the knees. Press the palms together. That opens the knees up further. And then reach through the crown of the head and try to straighten the back as much as you can. Breathing deeply. Let's take Kapalabhati here. So Kapalabhati is a sharp inhale and no, a sharp exhale. I had to do it to remember. Sharp exhale, and then you just allow the inhale to happen. So we'll do about 30 of these. So inhale deeply, exhale completely, inhale halfway, and begin. Inhale deeply, And exhale. And now just bring the hands behind you. If you're on a block, you can slide off the block and set it to the side. Keep your blocks sort of halfway up the mat in case you want to use them. So we'll begin our closing sequence now. And we'll start with boat pose. So take your hands behind the thighs and lift the heart, lift the gaze, reach through the crown of the head. And then with your back as long as possible, keeping the natural curves, tip back, can come up onto the toes, and right here can be your boat pose. Or you can lift the legs parallel with the floor, reach the arms out. We're getting progressively more difficult here. Or maybe even begin to straighten the legs and balancing on the tailbone, using the lower abdominal muscles as well as the leg muscles. And then bring the feet back to the floor and round the spine down onto your back. Once more. And then bring the feet hip width apart, just close enough so that the tips of your longest finger touch the back of your heels. And we'll come into bridge pose. So lift the hips up and interlace the fingers under your back and walk your arms and shoulders under the back farther. Keep gazing straight up at the ceiling. Don't turn the head from side to side in any of these poses. And then using the strength of the legs, press the hips higher and breathe here. Press them a little bit higher and then release the hands and the arms and roll back down. And place the hands on the belly and allow the knees to come together. Close the eyes and just take a deep breath here. And then draw the knees into the chest and lift the hips and scoop the hips with the hands into half shoulder stand. Stretch the legs long toward the ceiling. Again, keep looking straight up. Your feet should be directly over your face. And you can even walk your elbows toward each other a little more for more stability. And there should be a little space under your neck so someone could slide their hand under your neck. And then close the eyes and even relax the legs, even as they're long and they're not strong. Just relax. Relax the legs and allow the bones to be stacked and support the weight. And focus on your breath, breathing the length of your torso. And then allowing the legs to come somewhat overhead. Release the hips from the hands and roll the spine down again. And then stretch the legs long on the floor and shift the hips from one side to the other so that the arms are underneath your back and buttocks. I actually have my wrists under my buttocks, but if your torso is longer and your arms are shorter, maybe it's your hands that are under the buttocks. This is fish pose, and we press through the arms and lift the chest up, and then release the neck and the head back. Point the toes, strong legs, and let the head just touch the floor. No weight in the head. Using your arm strength for fish pose. This is a great counter pose for half shoulder stand. And it's also really good for the upper back. Flexibility and strength. And then lift the head up and drape the body back down. Draw the feet back in and release the arms from underneath you. And we'll take our lying side twist now. So with the arms extended in a T and palms face up, shift the hips 6 to 8 inches to the left, then draw the knees in toward the chest and lower them onto the floor, the block, or a blanket. So if you need to align, your block, I like to put the block under my shins, my calves, and then walk the right shoulder out from under and turn to gaze over the left arm. And once you're in the position, see if you can completely let go. Just relax. Close the eyes. Do a quick scan of the body. For me, this is the beginning of Shavasana. And then draw the legs back up in the air and shift the hips to the right. Maybe position your block or blanket where you need it on the left side. So we're shifting our hips to the right, draw the knees in and lower them over to the left. Walk the left shoulder out from under and gaze over the right arm. And again, close the eyes. See if you can completely relax all the facial muscles, the arms and shoulders, the back, and even the legs and feet. And then very gently draw the knees back up again. Recenter the hips. Maybe even just take a little cat-cow movement on the floor here. This helps center the hips. But have the natural curves of the spine so that you can slide your hand under your lower back and under your neck. So those are the natural curves, the roundness of the upper back and the concavity of the lower back and the neck. And then with the arms out at about a 30 or 45 degree angle from the body, stretch the legs one at a time, long on the mat towards the corners of the mat. And point the toes toward each other first and shift the hips from side to side. And then turn the toes and allow them to flop out. And close the eyes and come into Shavasana. Shavasana is active resting, but we're trying to still the mind. and focus on your own breath, turning inward. Become the witness, the observer of your own breathing. Not controlling the breath, just allowing it to come and go. And very gently with your inner mind, find any places in your body where there's tension. And without judgment, without effort, just notice those places where there are tension. And just allow that tension to be, to relax, to melt. And then return your attention to your breath without effort, without changing anything. And imagine that your mind is the clear blue sky. And if clouds floating to your clear blue sky, thoughts, just call it a thought, name it, and then let it go. And let it drift away. And now begin to bring your attention back into the room. Move your fingers and toes very gently. And if it's morning for you, reach your arms up overhead and take a long stretch. And then if it's morning, roll over onto your right side. If it's evening, to your left, with your knees pulled in, and press up gently into a seated position. And then we'll take the arms up overhead, palms together. Touch the forehead, think well. The lips, speak well. And the heart, love well. And we'll chant our closing prayer that all beings be happy and free. Loka samasta sukhino bhavantu. Loka samasta sukhino bhavantu. Loka samasta sukhino bhavantu. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Namaste. I have time if you have any questions or comments.